All right, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about difference of squares. That's what we're going to be looking at. First off, for all these questions, they are going to be on, it's part G, page 7. No, this is page 8. So page 8, part G, and this is the difference of squares. Well, you'll notice first off that all of these have a minus sign, okay, and that means difference. So that has to be a part of it, okay? Um, and for difference of squares, all right, whenever you're going to factor these, and this problem here looks fairly intimidating for somebody new to factoring, but what's really nice about these is can be, once you understand the method, one of the easiest and quickest factoring methods that you get to use. So because it's called difference and then of squares, all right, and how do I know that this is set up properly? Well, I have the minus sign, and then I look at this. I look at 9. That's a perfect square. 3 squared is 9, right? I look at the 121. That's a perfect square as well. That's 11 squared. So knowing your times tables and those perfect squares is going to be helpful for all of these. And then also we look here, x to the fourth. Because it's an even number, I know that it has a square value, and we'll talk about that in a second. Same thing here. This is an even number, this y squared, so I will be able to square it. So to find your answer, the final answer is going to look like this, where we're going to have our two binomials, like in a lot of that polynomial factoring, how it ends up. So I'm going to take the square root of the first number, okay, and we go one at a time here. Start with the 9. What's the square root of 9? Well, it's 3. And then what's the square root of x to the fourth? Well, something I talked about in class was this, that if you have an even power, the square root actually is basically, it's telling you to divide that power in half. That's what it's telling you to do. So when we do that, it becomes x squared. So this is going to be the first term, and it's going to go in both of these. Okay, so we're going to write that in the front. Okay, now I got to do just the same thing over here, and I did the same way. 121 square root, we already said that 11 squared is 121, so 11. And then take the square root of the y squared. Well, same principle, you're just dividing that power in half so it becomes a y. And that goes for my second term, okay? Now, to finish this off, I need symbols in between these two terms. It's not one expression, it's two expressions, and that forms a binomial. So I'm just going to put a plus and a minus, and you always have a positive and a negative version of the same binomial. Okay, you have that plus version and the minus version. So this is that method, and all of these will work the same way. You just square root the terms, put that first term, whatever you get from that square root, in front, like we did with the 3x. So I'm actually going to draw some lines here just to clarify this. I got this here from this, okay? That went here to these parts, okay? And then I took the square root of the 121, got 11y, and it went to these parts, okay? And that is your difference of squares.